So the list of things that we're going to need for this scientific experiment is A, arrows, B, arrow shafts, C, a bow, D, an archer, and finally E, test subjects. So A is going to be fairly simple, building arrowheads, because me as the head homesmith, I can actually build a whole bunch of arrowheads in different sizes and dimensions. We know that my arrowheads are already comfortable enough to get hit by. Therefore, if we build any dimensions that are bigger than a regular arrowhead, it's going to pass. So the only things that we need to actually consider are arrowheads that are smaller in some dimension or bigger in one way, but smaller in another. So the two different kinds of dimensions we're going to be dealing with is open cell, which is the tip of the arrowhead. It's a squishy soft foam that's mostly used for cushioning, sometimes for packaging. The base, however, is made of closed cell foam, which is tougher, like your blue foam, Eva foam, or pool noodle, that is not quite as squishy. So we're going to label these open cell, which is O, or base, which is B. So there's going to be two dimensions we're going to be applying to the open cell and the base. It's going to be depth and width. So the depth and width of the open cell, or the depth and width of the base. So we could say that the open cell's depth can be large, small, or regular. We could say that the base is large, small, or regular, and it can have any combination of those two things together. With that said, I have these 14 arrows with their shorthands next to them, and you can suss out which one's which and what it means. All right, now that we have our arrow heads, the next thing is going to be the arrow shafts. I have 8 of them here that I've put fletchings on, and they're fiberglass, and they're all the same. But that means that I don't have enough for all the arrowheads, and I will go ahead and switch out the arrowheads from one set to the next whenever we're testing them. So that means we have arrowheads and arrow shafts. So the arrows are done. Now we need a bow. The only bow that I have is one that I made a long time ago from a hickory longbow making kit. And whenever I first made it, I actually measured it exactly to a 28-inch draw at 35 pounds. That means it's 35 pounds of pressure whenever you're drawing the string back to 28 inches from the front of the bow to the string. Now, for whatever reason, while it was sitting up there, it now draws at 38 instead of 34. So I went ahead and thought to myself, well, it could be the fish scale that I've been using, that I've had for a long time and has been thrown around in a bag to every Sunday battle we've gone to. So I'm like, let me go ahead and get another fish scale just to double check and make sure it's not that instead of the bow itself. Sure enough, the scale is exactly right at 38 pounds. So I need to take the bow and scrape off the wood on the backside of the bow, the belly of the bow technically, restain and refinish to where it is exactly 35 pounds at 28-inch draw.